Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show, and welcome to another edition of Prime Sports World, and another edition of College Basketball Madness. Till we meet again, because this is the end of the season preview here, presented by Prime Sports World. I am your host, Israel Rivera, and before you go ahead with the show, or we go ahead with the show, you guys go ahead and please click, like, share, and subscribe to the Prime Sports World podcast there at YouTube and Facebook as well. And in case you missed this live show, you can catch us on all podcast platforms where podcasts can be heard, and that's Apple Podcasts, Samsung Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and Spotify, ladies and gentlemen. So you guys don't want to miss that content, as Prime Sports World has you guys covered 360 degrees around the way with the hottest up-to-date content here in the sporting world, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, what a college basketball season that we had. Where we had the UConn Huskies raising the trophy, winning the Natty, winning their fourth national championship. Congratulations to the UConn Huskies. What a hell of a season. I mean, we've had very ups and downs. I think the right team won the national championship. This is why we do these things, ladies and gentlemen. This is why we play the tournament, because you never know what's going to happen. Purdue getting upset by Fairleigh Dickinson, FAU making it all the way to the Final Four, San Diego State making it all the way to the Final Four with clutch defense, perimeter defense. But I think all in all, when I look at the field and I look at what the field had left to play with, I think when you look at the Elite Eight, it starts with the Elite Eight. I think UConn is the strongest team out of all those teams, the most balanced team. With Adam Sanoga, Jordan Hawkins, those boys. I think UConn was, Andre Jackson, all those guys. Klingman, Donovan Clingan. That's another guy. Step right. Is the Dome Sanoga's replacement. Backup. But what I mean to say is that when a team like that has size, they have good perimeter play, they play well on defense, they can move well without the ball. They were the most balanced team, most well-coached team. Even though, I did like the way some other teams were playing down the stretch, other than UConn, but UConn was right up there with Duke. When it came to like being hot in the tournament, like that, they were hot. So shout out to UConn, shout out to San Diego State for making it all the way to the national championship. We know Brian Dutcher is a longtime assistant, coach for Steve Fisher. He's been on the sideline of Final Fours and national championships before as an assistant, but this was the first time he, got there as a head coach. And so, but a hell of a head coach. I would say this team is kind of reminiscent of what the team that would have been the second seed 2 years ago had it not been for COVID and cancellation of the tournament. Obviously you lose a couple pieces. There's some guys that are coming back, but that team's still a top 25 team coming in the next year. And FAU, everybody's pretty much coming back. That team's going to be a top. I have high hopes for FAU, coming into the next season. So what a hell of a season to end. I mean, the more dominant teams that we saw on a nightly basis, like UCLA, they didn't make it into the final. Houston didn't make it into Alabama. All those teams. I mean, Kansas, Arizona got upset in the first round. I mean, all those teams. I mean, just didn't. Those top 10 caliber teams. Just didn't make it all the way. I had Houston and Alabama in one of my brackets making it all the way to the national championship. They didn't even make it to the Elite Eight, Final Four. So what a hell of a season. What a hell of a way to end the season. And UConn, I mean, just what a hell of a dominant run when it comes to dominant teams. I mean, this team is compared to the 2009 Tar Heels team. They averaged the points differential of 20 points per game. In terms of what they've won by. So that UConn team had a dominant run. They were dominant all tournament. They were dominant to the end of the season, and national champs. There you go. Moving on to the way too early top 25 for Prime Sports World. I know, it's a little too early to come out with our rankings here, but here at Prime Sports World, we're going to keep you covered. We're going to keep you locked so you can look out for these teams by the time next college basketball season happens. And number one, we got UConn. UConn possibly could get Adama Sanogo back. I know Andre Jackson's probably coming back. Donovan Klingon's coming back. They have a top 4 recruiting class led by Stephen Castle. That's going to be a hell of a team for UConn. Their recruiting class is, like I said, it's number 4 in the nation. They have 3 top 100 guys: Stephen Castle, Solomon Bell, Jalen Stewart. Those guys got all ESPN top 100 guys right there. And rightfully so. UConn, if they could bring back some of the experience with some of that class from that number 4 recruiting class, it's going to be something else. Number 2, we got Marquette. All 5 starters pretty much coming back, led by Tyler Kolek. Marquette's a team that's a top 5 team. I think they should be a top 5 team next year. I got them here slotted at number 2. So if you have any problems with any of these picks in the top 25, go ahead and please let me know in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes Duke at number 3. I think Duke, is going to have a hell of a team next year. John Shire has put together a hell of a recruiting class. They got 3 5-stars coming in, 3 guys that are ranked in the top 35. You probably got Jeremy Roach. Pretty much, he's on the mend if he's going to go to the NBA or come back. I think he comes back. I know Dariq Whitehead is leaving, Kyle Fulkowski and Derek Lively probably leaving, but you still got Tyrese Proctor and Mark Mitchell coming back. So the Blue Devils are really in a great shape for next year. I think they're a top 3 team. John Shire continues to build that, great team that Coach K, the foundation that Coach, build on a foundation that Coach K left him. A great recruiting class coming in. I think Duke's going to be a hell of a team. Watch out for, watch out for, a couple guys, especially like Jeremy Roach. He had a hell of a end to the last season. I think he comes out this season, early and shocks some people as like a sleeper for, National Player of the Year. And then, they're one of the top freshmen. You got Sean Stewart, Mackenzie Mbako. Those guys should be day 1, probably rotation starters right away. At number 4, we got Kentucky. Kentucky has the number 1 recruiting class in the nation. They got the pizzazz. They got the guys coming back. DJ Wagner. They got the number 1 player in the nation, Justin Edwards. They're the number 1 and number 2 player in the nation. Robert Dillingham coming in. Those 3 guys should form the best backcourt, wing backcourt combination, like dynamic in the nation. One of the best. You got Aaron Bradshaw, Craig Livingston. Aaron Bradshaw's the number 4 player in the nation. So they got the number 1, number 2, number 4 player. So they got 3 guys in the ESPN, 3 guys in the top 10, 4 guys in the top 15 in ESPN 100 recruiting class. So they got 4 5-stars on this team. And you can't argue with talent. And then we don't know if Oscar Tshiebwe, he could still come back. He's only a junior, but he could still come back. If he comes back, this team with Oscar Tshiebwe could be like probably, I would say, out of UConn, Marquette, I would like that team to be number 1 team in the nation when it comes down to it at the end of the year. I think they get a number 1 seed in the tournament next year if Oscar Tshiebwe could come back. But even if he doesn't, just having those 4 guys, 5-star recruits, it should make Kentucky a top 10 team next year, regardless. And I got high hopes for DJ Wagner and Justin Edwards. I think those guys are projected lottery picks. They got 4 projected lottery, especially Dillingham, Edwards, Wagner, Aaron. I mean, all 4 of those guys are projected top 15 picks in the NBA draft. If John Calipari can't get those guys to the Sweet 16 at least, I don't know what to tell you. Especially with DJ Wagner and Robert Dillingham at point guard at the 1 and the 2. I mean, it's going to be bananas. I think DJ Wagner could be the number 1 player in the nation next year as a freshman. That's how high hopes I got for this Kentucky team, this Kentucky recruiting class next year. That's how high hopes I got for this Kentucky recruiting class next year. Moving on, number 5, I got Michigan State. They got the number 3 recruiting class in the nation, man. Michigan State, real solid. And then you got AJ Hogger coming back. Jaden Akins coming back. Adding Jeremy Fears, hometown kid from us, man. Joliet, Illinois. Jeremy Fears, number 20 in the ESPN Top 100, top 20 recruit. Then they're adding Xavier Booker at the number 7 recruit in the nation as well. Michigan State should be a top 10 team next year. At number 7, I got the Kansas. Number 6, I got the Kansas Jayhawks. They got the number 5 recruiting class coming in with DeJuan Harris probably coming back as well to run the show there at the point. And then obviously there's other guys that could step up. KJ Adams, Marco Jackson, Chris Johnson. Those are the top. Marco Jackson, Chris Johnson, the top 100 recruit guys. Number 22 and number 35 in the nation, according to ESPN. So the Kansas is going to be a solid team next year. And then with KJ Adams, the growth of KJ Adams, had 10 points last year as a sophomore. I expect him to possibly double that production. Very talented kid. I think the Kansas Jayhawks are definitely prime position to be a top 10 team. I know they're losing Grady Dick and Jalen Wilson, but I think Kansas Jayhawks, all they do is reload, baby. All they do is reload. At number 7, I got the Arizona Wildcats. This is assuming that Azuolas Tubelis comes back to Tucson. Him and Omar Bello would be they would probably form the best front court in the nation there. The one thing that lacks about Arizona, I mean, they probably will hit the transfer portal a little bit, but one thing I say about Arizona, they lack a recruiting class. I mean, the recruiting class is they lack a top 10 recruiting class. They're ranked number 68. That's something that I really am not used to. Like as a college basketball fan, I mean, Arizona's usually pretty solid at bringing in talent. So for them to have a number 68 recruiting class, they lack a top 10, top 20 recruiting class. They got a couple 4-star guys coming in, but Arizona is going to have to rely on experience next year. At number 8, I got FAU. They're bringing in all 5 guys led by John L. Davis coming back. I think FAU is a top 10 team next year, ladies and gentlemen. And it's one of the teams when I look at the Blue Bloods, right? I got my top set, and I throw in like Houston, and I throw in Creighton, and I throw in, possibly, could possibly throw in like San Diego State or something. When I look at teams that could possibly be in the top 10 that are not in the ACC, the Big 10, the SEC, the Big 12, right? FAU is the top 10 team, ladies and gentlemen. They are a top 10 team, ladies and gentlemen. That bunch won 35 games next year. They're going to win. They probably may go undefeated next year, FAU. Let's see what their non-conference schedule looks like. At number 9, I got Houston. They got a top 20 recruiting class, number 18. And Jamal Sheed should be coming back. Jamal Sheed, should be, a player mentioned on the list for National Player of the Year. I think he takes a step up. You got Terrence Arsenault coming back as well. Manuel Sharp coming back. Those are rotational guys that are coming back that probably should take a step up for Calvin Sampson there in Houston at number 9. At number 10, we got the Creighton Blue Jays there. Big transfer coming in. Former top 60 player and Virginia transfer Isaac Trout coming in. Baylor Shearman, Ryan Cogburner. They're gonna miss those the guys next year. But they are coming back with Ryan Nembhard, who was in my National Player of the Year list, Trey Alexander, and Arthur Kaluma. Arthur Kaluma should be coming back as well. So Creighton Blue Jays are a top 10 team next year. Definitely a top 10 team. At number 11, we got the Alabama Crimson Tide. They're going to be losing Noah Clowney and Brandon Miller, big-time names to the draft. Javon Quinterly's a senior, Namari Barnett, he's transferring to Michigan. Nate Oates has got his work cut out to kind of put a top 5 group in together. Jaquan Walden transferred in from Wichita State. He averaged 13 points per game. Mark Sears is coming back for the Alabama Crimson Tide. So, this is the team, Charles Bediako is coming back for the Alabama Crimson Tide. So this is a team that has some guys coming back, but their main pieces are leaving. So they take a fall out the top 10, but this team could be lingering back into the top 10 as the season goes on, but I got them at number 11. At number 12, Colorado. This is my sleeper right here, to get into the top 10, possibly in the top 5 by the time the season's over with. I love what they did with, bringing in Eddie Lampkin, a center from TCU's, a rim protector. If they can, get KJ Simpson and Tristan DeSilva back, Cody Williams is a potential lottery pick. He's probably one of the best recruits to come in to Colorado. They put all of that together. Watch out for the Pac-12 for Colorado. I like what they've done there. They're up there in Colorado. So Colorado, number 12. At number 13, I got Miami. Could possibly be returning. Isaiah Wong, got Nigel Pack, Norcia Omier, Wooga Poplar coming back. All those guys, Jordan Miller is going to be gone, but all those guys coming back. If Isaiah Wong comes back as dynamic as he is, I think this team could be possibly lingering around the top 10 as well. But Jim Larranaga still has a lot of talent coming back here for the Miami Hurricanes. So watch out for Miami at number 14, at number 13. At number 14, I got the Arkansas Razorbacks here, rounding out my top 14. They bring in a dynamic bunch. Especially, they have a top 30 recruiting class as well coming in, led by Leighton Blocker, who's a number 26 in ESPN Top 100. But with Devontae Davis coming back, a healthy Trayvon Brazile, they got 2 top 30 guys in Bay. They got Bay Fall at the center position. He should be a day 1 starter there. He's a top 20 ESPN 100 guy. So this Arkansas Razorbacks team, is definitely something to watch out for, and especially if like Jordan Walsh and Ricky Conso somehow return to Arkansas, this team could possibly be ahead of Creighton or something in the top 10 here in the rankings when it's all said and done. So watch out for Arkansas next year. I got them at number 14, ladies and gentlemen. And then to move along a little bit quicker here, I got number 15 USC here slotted. They bring in the number 3 recruit in the nation, Isaiah Collier, bringing back Kobe Johnson, Trey White, Josh Morgan, some of those rotational guys there in USC back there. Again, at number 15, ladies and gentlemen. At number 16, we got Purdue. They should be bringing back most of their starters, minus Zach Edey. So expect Purdue to continue the same success that they had last year, led by Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer. Purdue should be a solid top 20 in the top 20 next year, if not the top 10 when it's all said and done. At number 17, we got Texas A&M. Number 18, Texas. Number 19, UNC, Armando Bacot coming back. Him and RJ Davis makes UNC, a top 20 team next year. And they add a young piece in Simeon Weicher, number 27 in the ESPN Top 100. This should be a team that, can contend next year. I definitely have hopes they should make the tournament next year. Definitely they should make the tournament next year. Number 20, we got the Baylor Bears. Keontae George gone. Adam Flagler, we don't know. LJ Cryer, we don't know if they're entering the transfer portal yet. Um, but they do have two top 50 ESPN 100 recruits here. Good recruiting class. Another top 30 recruiting class coming in for the Baylor Bears. They should be a top 20 team next year. At number 21, we got Gonzaga. Number 22 at San Diego State. And you know what? Let me go back to Gonzaga because at number 21, we got Gonzaga. This is the first year post Drew Timmy. It's been like forever since we mentioned, we haven't mentioned like Drew Timmy playing for Gonzaga. He'll be moving on, but they'll be bringing back Nolan Hickman, Malachi Smith, adding in the top 50 recruit, and Dusty Stromer at number 40 in the ESPN Top 100. So Gonzaga should be a top 20 team next year when it's all said and done. But yeah, the first without Drew Timmy, what a hell of a career to close out into a new beginning with Drew Timmy. At number 22, we got San Diego State. This team, should be, the Lamont Butler's coming back, Micah Parrish, Miles Hyde, all coming back. This team should be, primed and ready to be in the top 25 once again with the good experience. At number 23, Aiden Mahaney coming back. Definitely, he was a hell of a, I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do from freshman year to sophomore year for St. Mary's. They got some guys coming back as well, along with Aiden Mahaney. And then it's intriguing because they add a top 100 player at number 97 in Jordan Ross, number 97 in the ESPN Top 100. That's going to be interesting. Jordan Ross, a top 100 recruit and point guard for St. Mary's. So that should be dynamic with him, Aiden Mahaney, Michael Saxon, Aiden Mahaney and Michael Saxon both coming back. Jordan Ross adds a new dynamic for St. Mary's. I got them locked in at number 23. At number 24, I got the Tennessee Volunteers. You know, basically the whole seniors, all the seniors, Santiago Vescovi, Josiah Jordan James, all gone. Olivier Kamua gone. Euros Plasvich probably gone. Everybody gone for Tennessee. Rick Barnes has his work cut out, but they'll still be a top 25 team with Zakai Ziegler, Jemai Mashik, Jonas Idu, all coming back. And then they'll probably hit the transfer portal as well. I'm not worried about the Tennessee Volunteers. They'll definitely be a top 25 team. They still have a lot of talent. One of the best coaches in the NCAA. And then running out the top 25, I got the Ohio State Buckeyes, running out the top 25. For everybody that doesn't know, Ohio State has a hell of a recruiting class. They have the top 10 recruiting class coming in. They have several guys that should be coming back, rotational pieces that should be coming back. They have the number 8 recruiting class coming in, 3 4-stars coming into that program next year. So all of those guys should be day one type of guys for Ohio State. So I look forward to seeing Ohio State, kind of rock. And then some teams on the outside looking in, UCLA definitely losing a lot. With Adam Bona and Amari Bailey, obviously Jaden Clark, Hama Hekes out the door, Tyler Campbell out the door. But with guys like Sebastian Mack coming in, Devin Williams coming in, those guys, 2 top 100 ESPN top 100 guys. I think Mick Cronin, would definitely get the best out of his guys. So they'll be linking on the top 25. Boise State should be a top 25 team. Auburn should be a top 25 team next year. So look out for all those teams next year in our way too early top 25 presented by Prime Sports World, ladies and gentlemen. And then this is our Prime Sports World way too early National Player of the Year watch. I got Adama Sanogo from UConn. He could opt out and go to the draft, but this is my list, just him coming back to school and everything like that. He's number 1 on the list if he does come back to school. And number 2, I got DJ Wagner, number 2 player in the nation coming in from Kentucky. I think DJ Wagner is flat out special. He is flat out special. So watch out for DJ Wagner this year on the National Player of the Year watch. Number 3, I got Jonell Davis from FAU. He had a magical run last year. He's the best player on FAU. watch out for his continued success this year as he takes another step up. I do believe John L. Davis can double some of his output next year. At number 4, Azula Sabulis from Arizona. He could opt out as well. Same position as Adama Sanogo from UConn. He should be a on the National Player of the Year watch as well. Number 5, Justin Edwards, DJ Wagner's teammate. Number 1 player in the nation. Very smooth at the 3 from Kentucky. Can handle it, can shoot it. These two guys should be top 5, top 10 picks in the NFL. They should be lottery picks in the NBA draft. So watch out for Justin Edwards on the National Player of the Year watch. The number 6, Jamal Sheed from Houston. Number 7, Ryan Nemhard from Creighton. Yeah, Andrew Nemhard's little brother. Yeah, Ryan Nemhard, man, he can flat out shoot it. I think he'll take a next step up for Creighton. Watch out for not Ryan Nemhard on National Player of the Year watch. And running out my top 8 in the National Player of the Year watch is Cody Williams from Colorado, the number 6 player in the nation. I think when it's all said and done, Cody Williams could possibly be fighting with DJ Wagner to be the best player in the nation. Coming out in the NBA. I think Justin Edwards has a lot. He's already the number 1 guy, so they'll be, looking to pick and prod some of his stuff. I think Justin Edwards, him, DJ Wagner, and Cody Williams will definitely be the top 3 college guys, in my opinion, coming out next year as freshmen. Diaper dandies, baby. The diaper dandies, baby. Yes, Cody Williams, running out my top 8 from Colorado. I got 3 freshmen in my National Player of the Year watch. So, guys, don't want to miss out for that next year. Don't miss out for those players. Go ahead and YouTube some of their highlights, man. Some of these guys, man, they can hoop out here, man. So you guys better, be caught up. So next year you're ahead of the 8 ball. But anyways, that's been a hell of a show. It's been a hell of a season. Until we meet again, ladies and gentlemen, college basketball this year, the 2022-2023 season has come to an end, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm sad to see it go. But next time we come back with some college content, it'll be college football showdown here, hopefully with my main man, Christian Simpson, here as we cover the college football season for the 2023-2024 season. And probably be adding a MLB show to cover this slot, ladies and gentlemen, so you don't want to miss out on the MLB content that we'll probably be bringing here at Prime Sports World, keeping you here covered and locked in here, 360 degrees, bringing the heat, ladies and gentlemen. But go ahead and please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast there at Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. And in case you missed this live feed, you can catch us at all the platforms where podcasts can be heard. That's Apple Podcasts, Samsung Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and Spotify, ladies and gentlemen. So you don't want to miss that hot content that Prime Sports World brings to you, keeping you locked in with all the up-to-date content here in the sports world, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, it's been a lovely show. And till we meet again, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. Sayonara, suckers.